Yes, my name's Stephen Nash. I'm doing Module 12, Chapter 14, Social Judgment, Attitudes on Sleeping, Booze, and Money. It sounds funny, but what I'm trying to go over are the 3 points in the section. It's trying to get the point across of basically sales, in my opinion, or how you can be influenced by surroundings, opinion, things along those lines. What it does is it shows you in different ways that people's opinions can be swayed in some ways depending on how the information or question is given. Or you'll see later in the presentation on how putting certain messages across a campus per se can influence people's thinking. In my situation, my branch. But first would be sleep. What they did with the sleep experiment is they polled a bunch of college kids and they told them that they needed more or less sleep. And as they recommended what they should sleep, they noticed what their answers were. And it was surprising that actually when they told them they needed less sleep, they thought they changed their answer. When they were told they needed 5 hours of sleep, they said, "Oh, you need like 7.3." And it went to the point where they told them they needed 3 hours of sleep, and it actually fluctuated up. And they were saying they needed 6.5, even 5.5 at times. And my job, per se, what it is after, let me see, I'm sorry. I can relate to this, to my job and how much an item should cost in my warehouse. So if you tell somebody it's going to cost $500 immediately, most of the time, depending on if it's an adequate item, they're going to, I would have thought that was like in the $300 range. And so we'll play games with that and we'll try to figure out. And I noticed when I would be like, oh, it's only like $250, $300, they're like, oh, I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. So it's not like they say, oh, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be. They actually say, oh, well, I thought it would be more. And so it's kind of weird how their mindsets work when you tell them something. And they're like, oh, well, I would have thought different. But if you tell them it's higher, like, oh, I would have thought it was about, 300. Alcohol consumption. In this experiment, they post pictures about how many drinks should be consumed at a party. They also asked kids how many drinks they thought they should have at a party, and then they started posting around campus a drink, like 5.6 drinks at a party. And they noticed that it swayed how many drinks were actually at a party. 6 months later, they did another poll, and they did it with completely different students, and it actually lowered the consumption and what they thought, how many drinks they thought were being consumed at a party. So for me, the internet is a big problem, that we have pool professionals and people online can buy everything now. So our pool professionals will come to me and say, hey, why can my customer buy it cheaper than I can? And I'm wholesale, I'm the professional, I should be getting it for cheaper. So we started posting pictures around our branch, or posters, saying that there were non-internet sold items that only wholesale could buy, only a pool professional could buy. Now, that wasn't a lie. We actually went to the manufacturers and set up that program or that deal. But what we noticed is it was only a handful of items, and it cut the complaints in half. So it kind of gave a little, but there's still way more parts of the internet than not. But you could see how that mindset changed. Once they saw that we were trying and you did a couple, it swayed them in a way. So it was interesting. And then asking for money. Asking for money is always hard. But in this experiment, you notice all you really have, the hard part is asking. That's the hardest part. So the recommendation in sales especially is you're always going to start at a certain point and know you're probably going to meet in the middle. So in the experiment, the guy said, oh, I'll donate 20,000, which was 10,000 more than what they were expecting to get. And the guy immediately said, can you do 25? Same thing with sales. So when somebody says, oh, let's say I'm getting a payment, they say, oh, I can only pay 200 a day. Can you do 250? And they're like, okay. Because they are going to back down a little bit because they know you're going to bump it up. Same when a price of something. Oh, that's going to be 250. Oh, man, I can only do 200. What about 230? Okay, I'll settle for 220. That's kind of that. And in conclusion, we all have opinions or latitude of acceptance. The different experiments show us how we can somewhat be manipulated in some way. Not that you want to be manipulated, but you can be influenced in certain ways.